What an incredible week of handegg we've got this week, guys. Gaze in excitement at all of the tension and strife on the field. This right here is an example of why Thursday Night Football is a terrible blight on the football world. This marquee matchup featured two teams that spontaneously combust when they get any semblance of a scoring opportunity. Unfortunately, one team had to win, and the Texans further embarrassed the Bungles on home turf. It's okay though, the Bengals will just deal with the symptoms instead of anything substantial. I would have preferred a nuke drop on the field and save us poor bastards from having to watch this pathetic display of football. To me, you both lost. Well done.
Shameful display!
Hey guys, you want to hear a joke? Mike Glennon at $15 million per year. This was the week where all of us haters and shitposters were proven right, and the Bears were completely smoked by Glennon's old squad and the Buccaneers. The running game was stuffed like the fridge after a buffet, and the Bucs toyed with their prey all game long. The calls for Trubisky to start are coming fast and furious, but these are the Bears. They will do the next best thing. Bench Glennon for the butt fumble. The good news for the Panthers are that they are 2-0. The bad news is that they have played two of the worst teams in the league and the offense has looked incredibly anemic. If things couldn't get any worse, Greg Olsen broke his foot and is going to be relegated to sideline cheerleader for the next few months. If this is the best you can do against a pseudo-tanking Bills squad, what the hell happens when you play a real team? Hope to God the defense imitates the Great Wall? Might be time to press that big red panic button. To no one's surprise, Big Brother curb stomped the Browns to oblivion on their turf once again. Deshaun Kaiser looked like a total rookie, but this isn't about the battle for Cleveland. It's about building for a better future. If they can develop their players for once, they may get out of this mess. Okay, what have you guys done to offend the gods this time? This is also, unfortunately, one of those games that somebody had to win. It was less of a defensive struggle and more of a nobody can score because we consider moving the ball to be like solving a Rubik's Cube. When the Cardinals made that field goal in overtime, the sighs and relief of millions could be heard. Terrible football had finally ended. Speaking of struggles, let's take a look at the big fight that happened in the boxing world. Canelo and Triple G is sure to be a great matchup with no controversy whatsoever.
And Don Trella scores it. 114, a three-way split.
Draw.
This is officially a draw.
Nope, can't think of anything. Especially not the female judge. Walrus Master versus Apprentice finally commences in an epic battle of inches and yards. It was a close matchup, but Andy Reid eventually won out for reasons of mustache superiority. Kansas City looks like they might win another playoff game this year. Also, Carson, you gotta stop with the turnovers, man. I can't buy into the organized religion of Wentz with all of those fumbles and picks. It's gonna cost you guys a playoff spot if you can't get it together. The Vikings are looking good so far. You're telling me Sam Bradford got injured for the trillionth time? Scratch that. They need a new hero to save them from pain and misery. That man is Case Keenum. Gaze at his incredible veteranosity. Look at his safe and offensive reliance on checkdowns. That incredible clipboard holding action truly suits him for taking all of those sacks. Watch him lead the offense to desolation and ruin with constant 3-and-outs. Let the defense get exhausted and picked apart by the Steelers as misery continues on. Chase Daniel not included. Speaking of Pitt, let's see how the college football team is. Oh my good graceful Jesus, this is embarrassing. Nothing could make this worse. If only that beverage were bleach. Jacksonville, welcome back to reality. A place where your team gets blown the fuck out by the goddamn Titans and Blake Bortles cannot throw a football unless it isn't garbage time. That vaunted defense got torched like the Reichstag. Remember when the Jaguars thought they were hot shit and called themselves Saxonville? Good times those were. This is why you don't force your own hype, kids. No surprises here. The Patriots made that turnstile of a Saints D into their bitch within a quarter, and New Orleans looks like fried gumbo. Time for the easiest hot take in the world. Mickey Loomis is a total hack and should be fired yesterday. Our god-awful secondary? Nah, doesn't need any help. But look at this AP, that isn't going to be a feature back. But then again, the Saints have never been their pride and joy. It's LSU. Surely they won't disappoint.
He's gonna pass off of it, and another touchdown.
So many tears in Louisiana that the levees broke again. Oakland dismantled the butt fumble in the same amount of time it takes to wipe our ass. It's times like these when I wish we could have relegation in North American sports. It's the long-anticipated opening of the Chargers in LA. Let's see how the locals are But in all seriousness, this is a new Charger team. Antonio Gates just broke the touchdown record for tight ends. Miami pulled a boner and called a timeout to allow the Chargers to kick the game-winning field goal. Last week was a fluke. They are going to send all of these Dolphins fans home empty-handed. On the way.
Fuck you, Spanos! Fuck you and your saggy pus-infested ass!
Seahawks, I think it may be time to reconsider whatever the hell you call an offense right now. To get stuffed by the Packers is one thing, but to struggle against the 49ers? That team probably thinks the cover 2 is a lottery game. You may have won the game, but the questions remain. Will Feast Mode ever get back onto the field? Will the Niners ever score a touchdown this year? Will anyone ever show up at Levi's Stadium again? This is actually a pretty interesting game. Cousins has done well against a stout Rams D, but Jared Goff has been surprisingly solid so far. Maybe we were too harsh on his play in his rookie season. He seems to be developing chemistry with his receivers. He could lead the Rams to victory on this drive. Yes, I thought that a tad too soon. At least you want the Chargers, guys. But you know who was good back in the day? Nebraska. They played some MAC school, right? How'd they do?
They were sitting on it, and it's picked off. Northern Illinois comes away. It's Shawan Lurie.
This is why you don't extend the college equivalent of Chuck Pagano, you guys. You may as well have hired back Bill Callahan. What we have witnessed is a defensive clinic, a how-to on turning the Cowboys into Casper the Friendly Ghost. That was the stuff from their Super Bowl run a few years ago. They keep that up, they're making the playoffs. As for the Cowboys, well done. You made Trevor Siemian look like a stud. Dak Prescott became a turnover machine, and Zeke just stopped giving a fuck. They had no answers for anything. It's kind of like how the Cowboys treat media relations. Couldn't have happened to a classier organization. The Falcons officially baptized the stadium that failure built with a carbon copy of the NFC Championship game. This time, the Packers' battered O-line opened the gates to allow Atlanta to attempt a demonic exorcism of Rodgers. The display would have made a rotating door wince. Even when Rodgers tries to will Green Bay's carcass to victory, the team will kill any sort of hope it may have had. Stop wasting his prime, Packers. It takes a good deal to make the Detroit Lions look like a Super Bowl contender. The Giants did just that. It wasn't Manning this time. The entire team derped around all game long, merely content with having absolutely no offensive line to speak of. Hold on, I need to form a search party to try and find any semblance of a running game as well. This team may be headed straight for the basement if things don't shape up. Speaking of which, man, what a bad week for football.
And he is off to the races.
You are looking live at Marshawn Lynch dancing to the music during the timeout, and the crowd has gone absolutely wild.